Hello, sweet people. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Vanessa. Welcome. Thank you all for tuning in. Today, I want to talk about people pleasers. Guilty. Are you guilty too? I want to leave you a message today that hopefully empowers you. Because when we are people pleasers and we're starting to do the inner work, that can sometimes feel really uncomfortable when we are changing inside and I'm going to say want to actually, right? Take new action. Often people pleasers don't, take the action that they have to take in order to liberate themselves from their patterns. And sometimes, we as people pleasers understand, oh, something has to change. I need to draw boundaries. I need to do this and that. First of all, you don't need to do anything, but you're not doing yourself a favor, and you're actually not doing the other people in your life, no matter if it's colleagues or strangers even, or family and friends. You're not doing anybody a favor by constantly pleasing. First of all, to be honest, like now that I'm recovering people pleaser, let's call it like, I feel like it's a lifelong journey. Now that I'm seeing my own patterns when I go into them or when I'm inclined to go there, but, now I can also see it and maybe stop myself from doing it. I have to say, I really respect people who are not people pleasers. And whenever in the past I had people trying to please me, I would notice that, and I would actually not have as much respect for them as I wish I would. I mean, I see the pattern and I know that they're just trying to, keep the harmony and show you how much they care and care about you and all these things. But honestly, I really like people who tell me the things truly. Like, for example, with my friends, I would much prefer somebody who tells me this color doesn't suit you, or you know what, like, can you please be on time next time, or this and this doesn't work for me, or whatever it is. I would much prefer somebody be honest than please me, because this is how you not get to know somebody. And when we are people pleasers, let's go a little bit back to the origin. Often in childhood, when we are sort of like, when we have a parent figure or a caretaker that is, or maybe even a teacher that is quite strong-minded, and it's always about them, or they need a lot of validation. So if they are an immature adult, an immature parent, an immature teacher, whatever, then they can possibly make you feel like you have to do everything to please them, and their well-being is above yours. And as children, again, like I said in so many videos, we see the world in black and white. So if adults, if parents, if caretakers teach you that the world revolves around them, and that you better give them validation in order for you to get fed, stay safe, have a roof over your head, whatever, yeah. It's like an unspoken agreement that you then have with that person, with that caretaker or parent, for example, that they keep you fed and safe and whatever. Fed as in F-E-D, not F-A-T, yeah. So they take care of you, but you have to kind of please them and validate them and whatever. So that can sometimes be an unspoken like agreement that you have, because children will do anything and everything in order to survive. And that means adapt to the situation that they're in to get food and to get shelter from a caretaker, yeah, to get love even. Yeah, so that's often why if we have an immature parent or a caretaker growing up, or maybe that happened to you later in life, even when that happens, then we are often inclined to become people pleasers because we don't understand nuance and perspective as children yet. Yeah, so we think, oh, that's what I have to do in order to be loved. So if we grow up with that pattern and we don't actually know that this is not, I'm not a big fan of the word normal, but let's just for simplicity use that word, because in these videos I always break it down to very easily understand these concepts and not go in with like crazy words. So, like just to remove the entrance barrier of understanding what we're talking about. And so let's just take the word normal, that it's not normal that a parent behaves like that. Yeah, that just speaks for the parent or the caretakers or whoever behaves like that and you adapt to them. That just speaks for their own conditioning and way that they have grown up. So this is how you become a people pleaser, because this is being reinforced over a large period of time. So that means if this is in your system, you may not even be aware of it. And this may just be the way that you think you need to love and behave to people so that you get a little bit of love back. Yeah, that's why a lot of people pleasers settle for relationships and circumstances and jobs and bosses and friends that are not giving them true unconditional love, support, and connection, because they have, as a people pleaser, you often have learned that you give this and you get this. So for you, it may be normal to attract again and again. Sorry, I'm looking after two really cute cats, and they're just dancing around right now, so don't mind the sound in the background. So you may be used to attracting again and again the same people or the same pattern of people, and you may wonder, oh, why am I not seen by my partner? I do everything. Or why am I not seen by my parent? I do everything. Or by my boss or whoever. And you may feel like your relationships, you're not being respected or appreciated in the way that you may be appreciating and loving the other person or giving your all and your efforts. Yeah. So that is because it's the mirror principle. And what is the mirror principle? The mirror principle is basically the idea that everything in the world mirrors back to us, where we are either in alignment or in disalignment. So if you're attracting people again and again and again that are not making you happy, don't always think this is your fault. Obviously, it's good to check in with yourself and see, hey, what is my behavior in this? But then also check, what does this dynamic in this relationship, and again, that can be any relationship, work, family, romantic partnership, friendship, whatever. What does this pattern, what does this dynamic remind me of? Where have I felt this before? And I really have to say, all my clients have these patterns. I have these patterns, yeah. And it's just, the thing is that you need to learn is to understand the connections, yeah. So if you have, let's say, undesirable patterns and dynamics in your relationships, no matter what kind, see what these patterns or what this dynamic reminds you of from the past, yeah. Because often it leads back to our relationship with a caretaker, so like a parent figure, with mom, with dad, with one of your grandparents, with one of your siblings, or even with one of your teachers or one of your schoolmates, yeah. So think back to if somebody behaved like that before, yeah. And then another important thing is, besides the dynamics, is, are you settling because you're craving to receive love so much that you would just settle for a little bit because that's the thing that you think you deserve. Now, that's what you learned, maybe, what you deserve. But that doesn't mean that this is the truth. Yeah, because I had to learn for myself that I was settling for relationships, like romantic relationships, but also some friendships, and then also work relationships. I don't know, especially romantic relationships, I will say, that were not a match for what I desired and what I give. And so I had to learn that I'm much more worth. And I don't mean this in an arrogant sense or an egotistical sense at all, but we are all infinitely worthy. Just most of us don't know it. And most of us try so much to be more or be someone else in order to, get that validation that they're worthy or get that validation that they are enough. Yeah. But you don't have to be more or less to be enough. You already are. The jokey thing of the universe is that you are the one who needs to realize it to understand it. Yeah. And sometimes also people go into a relationship where they have for the first time an incredibly good match where people actually treat them with respect and love and dignity and, they are so good to them. And then you can sometimes you cannot receive it because this feels so weird. Yeah, it may feel like, oh my God, is this real? Yeah, and then sometimes maybe you try to sabotage it because it feels unsafe, because, uncertainty is sometimes even created in safety. If we are not used to how safety feels like, how dedication and respect and pure love feels like, then this may feel uncertain to you or unfamiliar. Yeah, just like why you're pulling in the same people, the same pattern of people again and again is because it is familiar. This is what you picked up. This is what you saw and experienced and felt in childhood. So that's why you are, re-attracting it again and again and again until you see, oh, this actually is not love what I'm feeling. It hurts. It hurts. It hurts. Love doesn't hurt. Grief hurts. Being mistreated hurts. Not being loved hurts. But love doesn't hurt. Yeah, so you gotta learn, if you want to, that sometimes what we're feeling is not love. It is the grief or the memory of the love that we have not received when we needed it. And again, no judgment to anybody, but that's why we choose people that represent the patterns of our family dynamics in order to heal them. But often we choose unconsciously these people, and then the relationship may be unconscious. And then you're trying so hard to make it work. You as a people pleaser especially, right? You're like giving your all, and they are just not changing. Maybe they're changing their words or saying that they are willing to change and put in effort, but they're not doing it. And you're just waiting and waiting, and then it leads to the breakup, and you think, what did I do wrong? I tried everything. You didn't do anything wrong. It was just not the right match. And that's what lots of people talk about when they talk about trauma bonds, or what do people say? Twin flames and all this stuff. I think, don't concentrate on these kind of things, I would say. It's my opinion. You can do whatever you want. But that's basically just a mismatch that reminds you, that makes you feel that wound again. Yeah, that reminds you of what love you received and what love you thought feels like. But now The beauty of it, the opportunity here is that you get to, break the foundations and create a whole new emotional footprint on and understanding for what real love is. Because you get to decide, what is love for you? Ask yourself that question. And not just, I'm not just speaking about romantic love. I'm speaking about kindness and connection and what is love for you? For me, it's respect, courage, honesty, all those things. So I had to break my idea of what love is completely. And that was really shocking for me because I realized I didn't know what love is. I had a picture of love, but then my family also didn't know what love is. Or they had a different idea of love and different expressions of love than what I was really craving and needed. For me, love is connection, honest communication, deep communication, listening to each other, being in service of ourselves and not betraying ourselves for the other, and in service with and for each other, to help each other grow, having the other person, having the other person's best interest at heart, And that's another thing, because as a people pleaser, you may think, oh, I'm doing so good, I'm caring so much for people. But it's often, and sorry to say that, don't take it the wrong way, but it's often a way to manipulate people to like you and, for you to be loved and somehow appreciated and seen. But I think people pleasing creates often the opposite effect, because when we go and please, our energy goes out and penetrates the other person. But when we are being in ourselves, we can still love unconditionally, we can still connect, we listen, we can still give from the heart, authentically. But we're not all over, because this all over energy repels people. Maybe you just felt the difference. When I speak to you from here and I'm just being in myself, in my center, who I am, without making sure that you hear me and that you understand me and that you appreciate me and that you love me. When I'm just speaking from here with no agenda, with no need to manipulate you to like me, then you can decide if you want to or not. Feel the difference in energy? Yeah. So you're not doing anybody a favor by people pleasing, because it's not authentic. You're not being yourself, and that suffocates your soul, your well-being, and that actually doesn't help the relationship, whatever nature the relationship has, because it's not meant to be often. If you need to force it, if you can be patient and trusting that if it's supposed to be, it will be naturally, it will come to this naturally, that's strength. That is powerful. That means you believe in yourself, you trust yourself. And this is the truth. You get to believe in yourself. You get to believe that you're worthy. And sometimes when things don't work out, we don't get the job, we don't get the project, we don't get the partner, whatever. People don't want to hang out with us. We're often like, oh, I knew it, I'm not good enough. No, maybe it's not the right combination. Have you thought about the people that you're trying to please? Maybe you don't like them, or maybe you don't even like them for the right reasons. Maybe you're trying to get something from them, or trying to get their attention for a certain reason. Maybe you think oh my God, that would open so many doors for me, or these people are so cool, I need to belong to them. That's ego. That is not real. That is seeing something in somebody that you want in yourself, that you already have in yourself, but you don't see it in yourself. That's why you're desperate to, this is like a desperate energy to, belong or be loved or whatever. So take that energy back, take your power back, and look inside. Where are you not believing in yourself? Where you're not trusting yourself? Yeah? Because that's inauthentic people pleasing and saying yes all the time. That's self-betrayal, and as a child, maybe you didn't have a different choice, but you can now connect with your inner child and say, every time you want to please somebody, connect to your inner child and just tell them, look, I know that was the pattern in childhood and that really was the way to feel safe. But now I'm an adult. And you can tell to your inner child, I'm an adult now, I look out for us. And if somebody doesn't like the way that we are and the way that I am, it's okay, I will survive. I'm not dependent on a parent to feed me. I'm not dependent on a parent to buy me clothes, to give me shelter, to live in harmony, because you probably have your own apartment now. Yeah, it's just remind yourself, because it's unconscious. And stop betraying yourself. That's not cool. And we often think that we're doing others a favor by pleasing them. And sometimes it's also taking too much responsibility. And by taking that over responsibility, we actually take away the possibility for other people to learn and grow themselves. Because maybe you're somebody who manages other people all the time, not from your job as a manager, but your family members. You take over the task because you think like, I'm going to do it myself because I'm quicker, or I'm this, or I'm that. Or they're exhausted. No, give them an opportunity to ask you for help. If they want the help, they need to say it too. Or give them an opportunity to learn something new. You can explain them how to do it, but then let loose and allow them. Because often people pleasers define themselves through doing, through the effort that they put in, through the effort, and then hopefully the validation that they get out of it. But sometimes you are disappointed because you don't get the validation you were hoping for, right? And then you're exhausted, maybe resentful. See the problem here? So it's important to not betray yourself. Yeah? Because where does it lead you? To exhaustion, to resentment, and then that will actually hurt your relationships, no matter what nature, more than if you're just being yourself. And that may feel in the beginning a little bit uncomfortable to say no, but you can say it gracefully. You don't need to freak out. You don't need to put a wall up and be like, no, I'm not doing this. You can just say, look, I'm really not in it today. I cannot come with you, or sorry, I forgot that birthday. I had a lot on my plate, but own it. Learn to own it. And in the beginning, you may feel some shame around it. You may feel like, oh my God, some anxiety. I just disappointed someone probably. Honestly, adults can deal with disappointment. It's okay. Practice disappointing someone. Don't do it out of meanness, but just know that when you are starting to change and you're starting to come into your own, you will start also disappointing people because you're behaving in a different way than they are used to you behaving. So yes, that will probably mean like they feel like, why is she not doing it anymore? Why is he not doing it anymore? Yeah, sure, you will disappoint. Just be aware of it and get ready and prepare that this is part of the growth process. Doesn't mean you're a bad person. Doesn't mean you don't deserve love or connection. You can even communicate it and say, look, this and this I'm not going to do anymore because I noticed that there's self-betrayal, or that I just don't have the energy for it. Or you can even go into exchange communication and say, look, I cannot do this anymore. Can we find together a different solution? Yeah? Communicate. That's the biggest problem in the world, that we're not communicating because we're afraid. of disappointing others, or of being guilty. You just don't want to feel shame. You just don't want to feel guilt. You just don't want to feel fear. Well, the best thing you can do for yourself is expand expand your capacity to feel your emotions. Because I know in the beginning it's hard, but in the end it's just feeling emotions. And yes, they create some sensation in the body, but that's something you can get used to. Just like when you're going to the gym the first day, you're going to be sore. And after the first week, you're going to be sore. And maybe after the third week, you're going to be sore. But then you're going and you're like in a flow and you're like, ooh, I'm starting to feel stronger. You don't worry so much about it anymore. You don't have to force yourself to the gym anymore so often. You'd like to go now because you see results, you feel good. It's the same thing. The physical is the same thing like the emotional muscle. You gotta train your emotional muscle. Okay? Is there anything else I need to say today? Yeah. Don't be so serious. Don't be in your head all the time. It's okay to be disliked. It's okay to disappoint people sometimes. It's okay to be yourself and be uncomfortable being yourself sometimes. Yeah, I forgot a good friend's birthday. It was his birthday a week ago. And I think a year ago from now, it was his birthday a week ago. And a year ago from now, like back last year, I would have probably been like so nervous and so like, oh my God, what are they gonna think of me? Da, 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 da. Today I was just like, I'm gonna send him a message and just say happy birthday. And as we were talking, I just saw a message and he's like, no problem at all. It's all good. It's okay. Just be yourself. And when you live a life aligned with your heart, then people will know that you're not a bad person. People will know that you do care, but that you have stuff on your mind as well. And when you stop taking everything, every no, every decision so seriously, when you stop taking it so seriously, other people will stop taking it so seriously too, because they're not feeling that anxious energy from you of like, oh my God, I'm so sorry, I messed up. Okay, take a breath. You're human. You're meant to mess up. It's part of the lesson. Okay? Leave a comment below, please. Say something, whatever you want to say, whatever you want to share. Maybe you have a personal story. I would love to hear it. And you're always helping somebody else by sharing your story. So please go ahead. And if you like this video, leave a thumbs up. Like, subscribe, please, because let's grow this channel. I'm super excited and I love making these videos for you. So I would absolutely love your support. And I see you tomorrow. Thank you for tuning in.